So this time of year, I always encourage my clients to pre-order, 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 pre-order.
Get it on the books.
A lot of first cuts, they're done. They're gone. Most shipped, even recuts.
Boutique hustle.
Hi, guys. Welcome back. We are here once again with the start of season 2 of Boutique Hustle Unzipped. And I'm back with Hannah. And
Hello.
it's been hi. It's been 8 weeks
I would
since we did this?
I would say probably 6 to 8 weeks, yeah. Well, or was it before Christmas? I don't even know.
Definitely. Yeah,
Okay, yeah.
definitely. I know we recorded some through December, but it was definitely before
Yeah,
then. But yeah, we're back. We are going to be, I would say, sharper than ever, more
hopefully.
honest,
Definitely more honest
more brutal, probably.
or bringing
So
it.
yeah, let's do it.
Let's dive in.
Go for it.
Well, welcome to February, but today we're going to be talking about January, and what a plot twist. It's like I have heard so many different reviews of January, and it's so interesting to hear it from the retail side and on the buying side, all the way to the
Mhm.
wholesale side. So I'm not going to lie though, Sonia, January was amazing for me personally. I could not have planned it better myself. I literally took a hiatus from life and did something
Literally.
for me that I haven't done. And, had some nipping and tucking, and I was asleep
Mm.
half of January. So I prepared the first half of January out of office, and boy, was I. So I am literally in the midst of playing catch up. So our January definitely looked a little bit different on the business side.
And when we said we were gonna be more honest, there you have it.
There we go.
He
No,
is not
no
hiding it.
hiding, no hiding my procedures. Yes. So it was
2026 bringing a new Hannah.
bringing it in. That is right. I'm going for that hot girl summer for 2026. So we are still very swollen, but that is the direction that we're going in. But yes, I was definitely, we're done having kids, and it was time. I have had it planned for about a year. So I'm not gonna lie though, Sonia, it was literally the best vacation I've ever had. I mean, highly recommend. I'm
Do
just
tell,
saying,
yeah.
you go night night and you don't wake up for several weeks and you can't do anything. You can't mom, wife, work, nothing. And people have to take care of you, and it's amazing. So,
It was
but
it
I
was
am paying the consequences now in a post recovery mode, also getting all the things thrown at me with the business. What about you? How was Dallas market? I know you saw the whole herring stone spam there.
I did. I don't know if you know how long it's been since I've been to Dallas Market, but it's
Been a
been,
minute.
I wanna say since 2011, maybe?
So
Yeah,
what
yeah,
made you go back to Dallas this January? Like what was it that stirred you there? Because I know you're a Vegas girly if you're going to markets.
for sure, because I kinda have my magic here, like I've said before, every day. So, a wonderful vendor invited me and brought me in, and I just thought, "Wow, what an opportunity.
Yeah,
Let's just do something
let's
different.
do it.
Start January different." And I gotta say, I'm so glad I went. I'm really glad I went. I met with some clients and caught up with some old friends, so it was wonderful.
Awesome. What stood out to you in Dallas this year or this January?
I think what surprised me, and again, I hadn't been there since so long, in however many years, but
Yeah.
probably the energy, and I sort of felt that before I went to Dallas. I, you know, kind of took the last 2 weeks of December going into the first week of January, it's kind of like, for us, our slowest time of the year. It's kinda like you're a little panicky, you're, like, twiddling your fingers, the holidays, vendors are closed, and I feel like this year, we just came out of the gate just running. Everyone was like, the minute we came back from Christmas break, we just got bombarded. People wanted goods, people needed immediates, people wanted to do pre-orders. There just this energy and this like rush to like get things in, and that that kind of excited me, obviously.
Yeah, for
And
sure.
then and then going to Dallas, it just solidified that. that momentum was continuing and, like, it was
Love it.
happening, and just everyone seems generally busy.
Good, I love to hear that.
Yeah, but as far as seeing things, I don't know that I saw anything that I didn't already see or know. I mean, obviously not every single piece, but I think what it did is validated a lot of what I was feeling and had learned and kinda had my thoughts about, and so
Yeah.
that felt good that my mind was in the right place and thinking the right things.
When you were working with your client, what was it that you're really focused on to help her make smart buying decisions, being there as her consultant? Like, did comparison of being in LA day in and day out and then going to Dallas market and feeling that energy and that momentum change the buying habits whenever y'all were in the showrooms? What did that
Yeah,
look like for y'all?
well, and that's the thing, I think throughout the years, you said the word habit, that's one change I've continued to see evolve is people's buying habits. And I think that comes with obviously learning, right, more when you started your boutique, how you bought then and how you bought, 2 years later and 5 years later, and then today is probably night and day. And so I enjoy it when I see my clients evolving and learning and not letting themselves buy with emotion or buy out of being desperate to have stuff and just pacing it. Like January does having a great January is such a big plus, but it doesn't define your year.
Sure.
It hopefully it defines, you know, it goes
If
from
it's
there,
up,
but right, if it's up, you want it to stay there, but no, you just want to pace it.
yeah, sure.
I do kind of talk a little bit about urgency because of that whole Chinese New Year thing we deal every year. So, I did see a lot more people ordering and pre-ordering more than I think they'd be comfortable with in the past.
Do you think that boutiques go wrong by getting a little too aggressive on the front side so that they don't get delayed in, Chinese New Year? Or do you think that, still staying safe with the buying strategies that they have and not being, like, in fear of not getting product because of Chinese New Year delays? Like, which way would you consult your clients? Really, like, overbuy on the front side or buy in budget and feel safe that the goods will come as they should accordingly?
Not this time of year. I wouldn't say that I tell them to go safe, but definitely don't let the panic set in and then make bad choices. I think knowing the dates of things that are coming in is really important. So this time of year, I always encourage my clients to pre-order, 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 pre-order.
Get it on the books.
A lot of first cuts, they're done. They're gone. Most shipped, even recuts. Don't forget this they started showing spring as early as last August at market, and then we had the Hawaii show, and that
True.
was all spring. And so a lot of these cuts were long sold out. But then if you're in here now, you can't wait. You have to just, what's coming because February deliveries are great because all that stuff is stuff that like got put on a boat, right before they closed for Chinese New Year. But then March and a good part of April, like no one has a lot of new things coming in if it's being manufactured in China.
Yeah.
So um I definitely I definitely encourage to pay attention to the dates and
Stay
make sure you
in
have the
front.
dates right, but stay right, just stay a little bit ahead of it.
So let
And
me
then
ask you, when exactly does Chinese New Year start?
it changes every year, and I I swear in the years I've been doing this and every conversation I've had about it, I can never get it right. I know it's about now that
Yeah,
it's
like
starting, which
February time
we're
period.
recording this right very early February. And from what I understand, they all live where they work. So, like, I don't know, you worked in Baton Rouge because that's where all the like manufacturers and sewers are for apparel. You kind of live there in whatever living situations they have. And then this is a one time a year that everyone just goes back home to their families and, like, spend, you know, time with them. Some people travel for a week to get there, others less, but this is the time that they kinda go back home because they're gone the whole rest of the year working. And it'll last, I think, 3 to 4 weeks. They say a month, but it's like I know fabric companies might close earlier than sewing manufacturers. I happen to know one vendor who was able to convince one of his factories to stay open for an extra week, like, before leaving, because
Yeah.
he really needed the goods, and they
Yeah.
did. So, I don't know how set like, I don't think it's like, "Alright, China, shut down, everybody leave," kinda thing,
Yeah,
but
that's
it's
what I was
this is the
curious, like,
window.
is, like, they don't work at all, like, during that time period? Like,
No, most everyone's
wow. I feel like we need, like, a Hannah and Sonia New Year's, or you just
Chinese New
don't do
Year.
any Yeah.
Yeah, we're
You
closed for
just
business.
done, not
Yeah,
available,
not available.
unavailable.
Not available.
Yeah, so interesting how it does fall right in that time period too, where us as boutiques or retailers are ready to stock. We're ready to get the stock
Yeah,
in because really, like January is so dreadfully slow. It's like you're really trying to clear out and clean up the stores. So you're not trying to get too much in because you don't want the new to overshadow what you're really trying to clearance out. But there is like this like happy medium too, where if you don't
mhm.
have enough new to support the clearance, then that revenue kind of bottoms out as well, which is super interesting about January, which I definitely want to get in. But before we do, I really kind of want to know your intake on Dallas versus Magic. I know Magic is approaching. You always love to go to Vegas. It's always fun for us to go as well. But like, what is it that you prefer and what are you expecting for Magic this year?
So for those people who say, "I went to Dallas, I don't need to go to Magic," I can see it to some extent because not everyone has the budget to be able to do both. But there is, a lot does happen. If you're a smaller vendor, I don't know how many more new samples you're bringing in, but overall, most vendors do add to the collection for Magic because that's kinda like, the granddaddy of them all,
Yeah,
the 2 Magics. So, I would say I have to go because, 1, I was in Dallas for 4 days. I did not cover 50% of people I wish I could have.
right. Sure.
1, I don't wanna buy in a rush. I need to pay attention to who and what I'm buying for, with, what, all the things, and I'm meeting with other clients and walking with them, and so, like, it takes time. So, like, for me, a lot of the people that I don't get to cover in Dallas, or if you go to the Atlanta market, it allows me to feel a little more relaxed that I'm gonna catch them 2 weeks from now.
Sure. Yeah.
And
Good point.
or, I could probably, sometimes what I tend to do is look at, like, January, February, March deliveries, let's say in Dallas, and then once I get to Magic, I'm gonna now go to the April, May, kinda June racks. Because if you went in there to look at all 6 months, you wouldn't see very many vendors. So I kinda, like, split it that way, and I've already seen a lot of it, but now I'm like, don't feel so, I guess, anxious about,
Yeah.
like, not having covered them. So, because
And
I
then you
try
feel
to
like you
cover
kind of got,
everyone, and then I go back and see what else they had for later deliveries that I still can get in.
yes. So you really get to see the full picture once you have now done
Mhm,
Dallas and
mhm.
Magic. So that'll be an interesting topic once you've done both, like what you recommend now being back in the Dallas market atmosphere versus Magic. That'll be something great we can talk about when you come
And
back from
yeah,
Magic
and
too.
my advice to anybody, if you can afford it,
Do it.
do it. It's twice a year.
So let me ask this. How do you prevent the overbuying with your clients when they do attend both markets? Some of your clients have huge budgets versus
Mhm.
others, some are right there in the middle. But what is your strategy that helps maintain staying within that budget, but still seeing all of these vendors? Because it is hard whenever you see so many people to stick with your numbers.
Takes a lot of it takes a lot of mental juggling from overbuying, it's paying attention and being more intentional, and it's not just buying with emotions. It's not buying with, a lot I notice, not necessarily my clients, but a lot of buyers can tend to buy due to relationships that they have with that vendor. I've
Very
seen it
true.
firsthand. So it's like, I don't really do well with this line, or, this is not really my customer, but,
But
I
I
used to buy a
love
lot from them
them.
and I love them and they were my rep at this brand and blah, blah, blah. So like, that's great. If it's not a fit, don't buy it. Go take the person for a drink.
Right, like, go to the five-star dining area.
Yeah. Like, just don't feel bad that you're not buying from somebody that you bought for so many years, and then, you know, they don't, even if they're with the same line, it happens to me all the time. It's like,
Yeah,
I promise I'm not buying because I don't want to. It's just like I need to make sure
it's
that
not
I'm buying
working.
the things that are fit and that are like it's not like redundant. Like, it's the polka dots. It's like how many polka dots, can you buy? Like
Right.
it's they understand.
Yeah,
And so I just have to like pay attention. I keep an eye. I guess I kind of pay more attention to their hesitations too. And when something's good and they're like thinking, I'm like, promise, I'll buy all 6 pieces if you don't sell them. That's how confident I feel about it. Sorry, I have a call coming in. So there's all these little things, and with everyone's different. Some people are really aggressive and want to like just go in and blah, blah, blah. And others are like, well, I just want to look first. And it's like, we don't look first. We're already here. Let's make some decisions.
yeah, it's so true, we get caught in that too, especially being in business for so long. You start building these relationships, and there are brands that we've had really, really good success with, but then they fall off, and then they rise back up again, but then they fall off. But I guess that is the ebbs and flows of our industry that we're in, but it does show the power of relationships, though, like, that's something that we even bring into our stores, like, and I feel like that's something we're gonna really see in 2026 is how important relationships are even over product. On a buying stance,
They're
you
so
obviously
important.
yeah, you obviously have to, like, know the difference, but we do. We get caught up in just loving the vendors so much that we're like, "Okay, we're gonna, support you."
Yeah.
But, it is what it is, but it is funny that
So
you
you would
mentioned that.
agree it does happen, and you end up buying things that you're like, "Well, we didn't really need that, but."
Exactly. Yes, exactly. We're like, but we're gonna hope. We're gonna hope that it really works out this time, no doubt. What is okay, so what's Vegas reality for you? Like what are you excited to see? What are you excited to experience? Is it falling on Valentine's or Super Bowl or any of the big things this year? I know it has before because we were with y'all, and I think it was Valentine's and the Super Bowl, or no, it wouldn't have been both.
Mhm.
It was definitely Super Bowl though, because we spent Super Bowl with
Right,
y'all one
right.
year in Dallas. I mean, at Vegas market.
Oh gosh, so finally they listened, and it's not on Super Bowl weekend, which made things so much more expensive. Because
Yeah,
most buyers,
so true.
I mean, at least the ones I know, they're flying to Vegas. They're gonna make, a mini vacation out of it. You're already there. So, like,
Right.
they tend to come that weekend, usually that weekend before. Normally market, starts Monday, and now it's starting Tuesday. But just because it's on Super Bowl weekend doesn't mean it's a lot cheaper because it is Valentine's Day weekend and the rates are through the roof.
Yes,
So
so true.
it's hard on buyers, I get it. It's expensive, but
It
this
is,
is an
especially
investment
like
into
and
what
Dallas
you do.
isn't like cheap, but it is a lot easier for we live in Louisiana, so for us to go to Dallas is, like, so easy and cost effective, but for others, though, who are traveling to Dallas, I mean, the hotels there are expensive, there's a lot going on
Yeah.
on in Dallas, so if you're doing a Dallas and then an Atlanta, then a Magic, sometimes you do have to make those decisions for your expenses depending on what that looks like for you, so I am glad
Which
they're really listening to that, though, because 'cause you're right, Super Bowl weekend is not the time that you wanna go and spend all that unnecessary money when you're not going to Super Bowl.
no. And so, like, it's a little cheaper, but not a whole lot cheaper. But either
Right.
way,
Yeah.
it's an investment into what you do. But just to throw something in there, since we're talking about hotels in Dallas and all of that, I gotta give a shout out to the Jewel Hotel in Dallas.
Ooh, I've been there. Love
Holy
it. So
moly.
good.
the level of customer service in that place is insane. I happen to be staying with a client, good friend of mine, who booked a mini suite, and
You're
I don't know
living your
how
best life.
we ended up in in the penthouse, and it was
Stop
3,000.
it right now.
It it was a it was a 3,000 square foot, a
My
two-story,
God,
3,000 square foot
FOMO.
penthouse with their own private terrace. She's on one floor all the way to one end, I'm on another floor upstairs to another end.
Stop. Okay, well, you were treated really good then. That is so
Yes,
nice.
and the manager checked us in, and it was amazing, but the shout out really comes in the customer service
I love
because
that.
I happened to forget my iPad in the room, somewhere in that humongous space. Pretty sure I left it in my room, I don't know what happened. It was pinging at the hotel even a week later, but the Jewel was kind enough to replace my iPad, and I didn't even have to ask. The fact that they just were like, "You know, Sonia, we know how important this is, you know, for you. I know it's part of your work because they asked me what I did and blah, blah, blah." And they're like, "This is what we're gonna do for you as the Jewel Hotel, and
That
we're
is
sending you."
amazing.
Yeah.
I've
So
never
back
even
to
heard of such.
relationships.
It
Right. When
matters.
we first checked in, we met the manager, the MOD, and, we just chatted with him. I was with, someone else, and she's super talkative and friendly more than me. Uh, and so we had just established a rapport with him, and, he went
I
as
love
far
that.
as bringing drinks to us upstairs in our room,
I
so we'd
think
have
he
to
might have
open
just
up that
I think he might have
$500
liked
bottle of
y'all.
tequila.
I'm really pretty
No,
sure.
no, he was really sweet. He knew we were married and whatnot, but he was very sweet.
That is
But
so
I
awesome.
know
Don't you
all
love
of
the
that played. Go for it?
little speakeasy downstairs?
Oh,
Do they still
yeah,
have
that I
that?
they do.
Did y'all do that? So
Yeah,
cute.
that I almost slipped down those stairs too, by the way.
Was that was that from a long day or some tequila?
All of it, all of
All
it.
of the above.
Yeah,
I love it.
in full transparency, I slipped and fell coming out of dinner with a huge group, and I sprained my ankle, so I came back with an ankle this big, and I was not drunk. I wish I could say that, but no. Okay.
Dang. Would have been a much better
Um,
story.
no, but it again, it goes to the relationship and, relationships, whether long term or short term, even if you're never gonna see that person again,
Matter.
that, you know, those 4 days, 3 days, however long, they matter, and you never know what impact you're having in somebody's life, and
So true.
you learn from people and they learn from you, and I think them really putting thought into, like, how this I mean, it wasn't a life-ending event where I didn't have my iPad, right? But, like, they understood the value it had for me, and so
Yeah.
they did right. So, thanks
I
to a
love
hotel,
that.
we will definitely be staying there again, and I recommend it.
Kudos.
Cutest coffee shop
The whole
in the
place is just
lobby.
adorable.
It's
So
adorable.
cute.
Yeah,
I
and
love
it's
it.
not far from Market. I think
It's an easy, ride.
well, their car took us to the Mart one of the mornings when we weren't
Okay.
Ubering, but it was less than
Easy.
it was like 8 minutes.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
good.
and it's
Okay,
next door to Neiman Marcus, just FYI.
good point. The good one in the downtown area. I love it.
Yes.
Let's get into, January. I'm kinda curious, since I was asleep
Okay.
half of January, fill me in, like, what did it look like? I've heard mixed reviews, so I love looking at I follow this like, the Boutique Hub, and you see lots of boutique owners.
Mhm.
They're all in there chit-chatting. I love it. It's a great little place to chat and just kinda see, what everybody's experiencing, and it was kind of interesting. I saw lots of people talk about how great their January was, which was interesting because in December, they talked about how terrible their Decembers were. So it's a very like interesting, thing that's happening, like the swing from December to January. What are you
Mhm.
seeing on your end and the people that you're associated with? How did January behave differently?
Ooh, I think part of what's happening is people are more comfortable buying pre-ordering further out than they had been in years past because they realize that if they don't, they miss out.
Mhm.
And I think if they're ordering from the right vendors and the vendors that they trust that actually do deliver when they say they're gonna deliver and, get you your top that matches your bottom together, at
Ugh,
the same time, and, like, all the things, then they're comfortable with doing that. It's like the
Yeah,
vendor does play a huge role in how the buyer reacts to them. And I'm always preaching this to the vendors. It's like, if you say this date, do it. And it matters. We've talked about this before. It matters so much to everyone, but it really affects the smaller boutiques,
yeah,
small brick and mortars, when they're depending on having that many dollars come in the store and they don't get half of it or whatever.
sure.
I s The December thing, I don't know. I feel like most of my clients did pretty well.
We
I
ended up pulling out
didn't.
our 4th quarter numbers, not immensely, but
Mhm,
we were up a little bit, up is up. So it was hard. It was hard work, I feel like we live in a grind though. So it's like you're kind of used to that. Some months feel a little easier than others. The past several years have just seemed like you're just to get to your numbers, you're grinding.
mhm,
But December was ended up turning out for us. January was weird for us. We have 5
mhm,
stores in Louisiana, so it's kinda interesting to see the trends per location. One store had one result and another store had a different one. Some were up, some
mhm.
were down. It's kinda interesting how that played a part in our January. Typically, we're
I also
pretty consistent.
well, I mean, yeah, I mean, we were working for so many years, so I kinda know that about you guys, but what I did notice with some of my smaller boutiques is they were so ready to start taking spring transition earlier than they normally would. Normally, yeah, of course, I was having vendors hold like your satin maxi dress that looks like you're going to be in the beach in Miami or Barbados or wherever.
Right.
But they were taking in all the like pink pastelly little lightweight sweaters
And
and
the
anything with
cardigans.
the sleeves and the cardigans and the layering pieces and all the things. So I think at least for the people I know of or work with, they ended up okay because I did encourage people to start taking those things and
Yeah.
start lightening up the store. It starts to get too dark, too
Mhm.
glittery, too
Mhm, mhm.
brownish. There's so much brown for fall. And it's like just break it up, start taking in some fresh pieces because people go on vacation or us as
They're just
consumers,
ready
we
for some
did yeah.
change.
We want
It
something
also
different.
depends on the weather too, like, down here in
100%.
Louisiana, the first 10 days of January when I was sleeping, from what
Were
I
you like in a
heard,
gas chamber situation?
I mean, like, I was in a corner in a
Like
recliner, it was
Michael
really
Jackson?
dark, but from what I heard is that the weather climate kinda felt like early spring where it wasn't freezing, it wasn't cold. People
It
were
was bad
people
winter. It was now
Right.
just
It
recently.
is now, right. So, like, people were ready for it. So, but if you didn't have the merchandise in, then you kinda missed that opportunity, which is what I think we felt in a trap of. And then when we started getting the merchandise, then we're in a winter storm. So, and now we're actually delayed on our product because of the winter storm. So,
How's that making you feel?
well, a little stressed. I'm not gonna lie. I'm like, where's our product? I'm asking all the tracking numbers, tracking numbers, tracking numbers. And then it's very stressful when you wake up from your hiatus and you don't have any merchandise in the warehouse to put out on your sales floor. And it's all not even scannable because it's stuck in a winter
Yeah.
storm. So there's
I
like not
became the
even
UPS tracking
tracking.
person. Yeah. I
Girl, I
had
was
so
like,
many requests.
and yeah, that was crazy. So
I
we're
already knew the
starting
answer. I was like, "It's stuck
it's
somewhere
stuck in
in the middle.
Memphis. Yep, it's
I'm
stuck in
sure it
Memphis.
has to do with the storm. Don't worry.
Yep. Yeah.
You're gonna get it soon."
I will
I
say
didn't
we
even
planned
track it because that's literally what was happening every time I did.
yeah, it was we knew. So we were like, look, all we can do is what we can do. We'll plan accordingly. Then we started getting like little trickles in, making it all work.
Mhm.
And then this week we had to plan and I was like, we're not getting our goods until Thursday. We typically do photo shoots on Tuesday and we do a 24-hour turnaround and have a launch on Wednesday. And that's just kind of what works. And then we merchandise on Wednesdays and Thursdays and then we're ready for our weekends. That's kind of how we do our weekly things. I don't like to be too far ahead because I cannot stand merchandise sitting in my warehouse and not being on my sales floor. So we do everything very quickly. But this week we were planning, I was like, we're not getting goods until Thursday. So we're gonna be have like taking it out the box, doing a photo shoot, getting it launched on Friday, putting it all in the store, like everything simultaneously. And by the grace of God, it all landed yesterday. So we were able to kind of
Good.
move things ahead a little bit. So I'm actually after this going to style for our photo shoots. I'm excited because it's time. It's time for all the newness. But I will say, looking back at January and really observing the January months, it wasn't like super brutal. Seen way worse Januaries.
Mhm.
I wasn't super excited about it either, but I do feel like for us,
It was.
just being truthful, is that we had missed opportunity because we didn't bring in goods soon enough.
But you were asleep anyway, so
I
did
was
it matter?
asleep. I mean, like, I just planned January to kinda be sleepy, and that's what the results were.
And then you woke up in a panic,
Woke up stressed, panic mode, and can't have no control over anything,
but
yes.
worth it.
So worth it, girl. Hot girl summer 2026.
Are you able to just, like, get up and about and, like, do all the things?
Well, so I'm in 4-week post-op right now. Last week, my brain told me it's time, and then my body told me, "Go sit back down." So last week was a very big we were trying to film last week, and I was like, I just can't." Last week was tough. Probably, I would say my toughest week was last week. I was trying to get off the medication, and then you have to mom and, all the things. So reality kicked back in, and I actually have more appreciation for myself because what I would write down I was going to do that day, I would get like 2 things done, and then I would beat myself up like, "I do all this in a day?" Like, my body was saying, "No way." So
You're like, "I'm so amazing."
right? But this week's been better. Like, I'm hoping I can do a full week, and then I'm just gonna listen to my body. I think I talked to you the other day, and you're like, "You gotta listen to your body." I was like, "My body tells me sit down. Sit your ass down, Hannah." Yes. So, but anyways, it's all good though. I think by next week we'll be back on track. I'm just a little slow. I'm like a little turtle, but I'm getting it
Yeah, that
done.
happened in December. I had some sort not I didn't have a fun surgery.
Well, you don't need one because you already look amazing.
Well, thank you, but I had one in December, um, and I literally had them release me the same day I had surgery. I was supposed to stay for another day or 2, and I was
You're
like,
like,
"I cannot be here." And, that was a Monday, and I attempted to go to work on Friday, and I got there and I was like,
nope,
"Yeah, not happening."
not today, not
Yeah.
today.
Yeah.
I know
So I
it's fun.
get you.
Whenever we're built the way we're built, it's like you don't know how to
Our
really
brain is like, "Go, let's
relax.
move it." And
I
then you,
mean,
like, sneeze and
literally.
you're like, "Ugh."
I know, you're okay, okay, okay. I know, it's so funny when I finally woke up and I was like, "Oh my god, best vacation ever," and I'm like, "When what can I do next?" Because, when you go on an actual
Yeah.
vacation, you need a vacation from your vacation. When you go on a family
Yeah.
vacation, that's really not a vacation because 'cause you're like,
Mhm.
"That's a lot." I mean, truthfully, as a business owner, the only way that you can really relax is have the flu or have some surgery. I do
I was
not
gonna
know any other
so
way.
so the take of this episode would be when you need a break, go get cosmetic surgery,
And you're welcome.
and it'll keep your husband happy because he's gonna want the results, so he'll put in the work for it too.
God, don't even get me on that. I mean, the husbands can't even take it. They're like, "She's down, things aren't good. Things aren't good."
We're all going down. The whole
Yeah.
ship is sinking.
Literally.
We might as well all have had surgery.
Exactly. So good. But anywho's, well, I'm excited about February. I think it's gonna be fantastic. The weather down here is shifting. Hopefully, I mean, like, I love a good winter, but like, let's make it short and quick. When we're starting to get spring in, it's like nobody's got time for that. So I'm hoping we can kind of have a consistent early spring and not get too winterized over here so that we can get those sales in and make all of our customers happy. And I'm excited. I'm very hopeful for 2020.
I am, probably more so than I was last year, which is
I
saying a lot.
100% agree. Yeah,
Because if you listen to any kind of news, you're just like, "God, like, am I
I
gonna be
don't.
able to afford to eat?" But it's like, I just don't see
So I
any
don't
of that
watch.
happening around me or anywhere I go. It's like, you go to the restaurants, they're all full. You go to the airport,
Yes.
the lines are crazy.
Yeah, people are spending.
Anything you do, go to concerts, people are spending, and I'm
Yeah,
glad that there's money to do that.
100%. I think for us, like in this industry, I think if the styles can just stay fresh, like new and fresh, that it'll keep people wanting to spend. Think that, that every 3-year cycle, well, things just kind of get kind of stagnant because you either already have it in your closet or you're not quite sure about the trend or how it fits you or this or that. But what I'm seeing so far, once I woke up in January, I was like, I see some shifts. Like, I like this new look, it's cute. So I'm
But
excited.
with
I
that
really am.
said, you gotta be as a buyer, you have to be careful. Like, training my assistants, and they take photos for me and do whatever. It's like, just because it's on the rack. And just because the vendor says it's a new arrival doesn't mean it's great. It doesn't mean it's even on trend, you know?
Right, right.
And so that's something I teach her. The last thing I'll say about trends right now is don't overdo the polka dot trend. It's great, it's fun, but it's
To be quick.
gonna be everywhere, and just know
It's
how
gonna
you're
be
gonna
quick.
style it. Be intentional about the pieces you buy. I think it's fun, but
You know I love it.
it's everywhere. So, like, same thing with the animal print and, all
Yep,
that.
same thing. I have on polka dotted pants right now with a big floral jacket.
Oh, nice. Nice.
Print on print.
But you know what? If that's your style, that's your style.
Oh, goodness.
Unless
Well,
you're like
today
the
was
news
fun.
reporters. I was gonna say, unless, like, you're like the news reporters, you're probably wearing pajamas underneath. I mean, as a bottom, and then just trying to be pretty from the half up.
I do have my slippers on, but these pants are so comfortable, they were on my floor, so I was like, "We'll just put these on again." Gosh. Well, it's so good to see you and catch up. I'm super excited that
Same.
we're here for season 2. Season 1 was great, but it was learning curve for us as well, so I think that we'll be able to get, like, sharper and bring in even more content for everyone.
Mhm,
Before we close out, though, I'm kinda, intrigued. You've sent me that you've gotten a lot of reviews, like, while you're at market and some messages.
mhm.
What's our audience thinking? Like, are they liking us or, like, what can we bring to the table?
Uh, it's actually been pretty amazing. So, like, when I received the message this week, which I forwarded to you from someone that I normally don't speak to, but obviously has my number. They own a boutique, and her feedback just made me feel so good. She's like, "I've been listening to your episodes, and I am learning so much. I think I finally figured out why I've been down for the last 2 years."
I love
And I was
that.
like, "Wow." I'm like, "Okay, good." Like, whatever anybody can take out of it, maybe you know more than we do, but maybe we're bringing something that you go, didn't think of that."
Like, aha moments.
Yeah, aha moments. It's so, like, she made me feel great, and I replied to her and I said, "This is exactly why we decided to do this. We wanted to just share our experience. We're not the end all, know it all,
Sure. We're still
but
learning.
your experience, my experience, our experiences together,
Mhm.
we can just bring it to the audience, and hopefully they can take what they need to take out of it and move on with the rest."
I love it. Well, I'm here
Yeah.
for it.
So
I'm
I've
excited.
it's good. It's very good and encouraging. Is it for everyone? No, but thank you for those who are listening and
Yes, we appreciate it
sending
so much.
us comments and DMs and all the things, because it's the only thing that kinda keeps us going, because 'cause we're like, "Is anybody listening? Is anybody caring?" I mean, we know because we can sorta see it, but it just kinda confirms
Yeah.
everything. So,
Yes,
it's been
for
fun.
sure. And on that note, if you know anyone who would love to be on our podcast, we are taking guests this season. And just kind of interested
Mhm.
to hear from other boutique owners or other vendors, other buyers, anyone in this industry that could bring something to the table for our audience to hear, and just be another sound for us. So if you know of
Yeah, we
anybody,
have a couple
definitely let us
lined
know.
up, but as you know, in this industry, everything changes day to day. So, we've had
Yeah,
kids get sick, we've had people out of town, so it doesn't work out, and then there's our schedule, so it's more of a scheduling
which is a
thing
whole
than a
nother
people thing.
situation.
Yes, yes, yes,
But we have made it work 2 hours away from each other. I just love that whenever you say a time to me, you say it on your time, and I have to do the math.
and you're like, "Calculator, Googling." Yeah, for those that don't know, Hannah's all the way in Louisiana, I'm in LA, and
Yeah,
she's gotten her day started. You replied to me at 6 a.m. this morning
which
'cause
is
I
my 8
sleep with
AM.
my headphones and I heard it. I was in my sleep and I heard
And
Hannah
you texted
said
me at 1 AM.
true.
That's why I
So that's
never
how we
bother. I'm
communicate.
like, she texts me at 1 AM, I'm gonna text her at 8 AM,
Right. She's
which is
like, "If
her
she can
6
do it to
AM.
me, I'm gonna do it to her." So
I love it.
that's I mean, it's really getting us down to sit down and do this. That's kind
Yes,
of a
it takes
task
a
in
lot.
itself.
I totally agree. Well,
But we
I'm
always
saving my
manage
Wednesdays
it.
for you. Okay, girlie. Well, you have a great day. And thank y'all all so much for tuning in to the boutique unzipped. We are back and we're
And
ready.
please subscribe.
Yes.
Wherever that button is, subscribe. Thank you guys.
Bye, y'all.